Here you have laptop Toshiba satellite, and this model is L55-C5272. With screen that goes dark when you open it up, then the culprit might be a cable that goes from the laptop to this screen along the edge and along the hinge, one of the hinges. If searching for the cable, all you do is make sure that you put the model number of your laptop, because there will be different cables for different models of Toshiba satellite laptops. The problem with the cable, this is the new one, replacement. It's not made by Toshiba, but I think it's going to be a good replacement. The problem was that when you opened up the screen, at some point, at some angle, the light would disappear, the backlight would disappear, and the screen would go dark. When you closed it again a little bit, it would go back on. And then when I pressed the right-hand side of the hinge, it would go on and off. So I knew that the cable on that right-hand side is the culprit. This laptop is about 7 or 8 years old, but it's got i5 Intel processor, so it's still respectable, still can be used, got SSD drive inside, so it's relatively fast for many common applications. This is perfectly sufficient. Now the optical drive is held by a single screw, just this one, so as soon as you remove the screw, you can simply put your fingernail and remove the drive out. As I remove the screw, I'm going to put it aside, and now all you do is using your fingernail, you very simply remove the drive. It goes out, you put it aside, and then take off all the screws on the back side. When you remove these two screws on this side and this one, this will loosen the battery. So all you do is the same as you did with the DVD drive. You simply wedge your fingernail, remove it, and your battery is out. And now all you have to do is use a plastic card, gift card, credit card, and very simply wedge around the bottom. Once you remove every screw, and as you can see on the tray, every screw is the same length, the same size, so you don't need to worry about mixing them up. And then starting here, you start removing the back side, the bottom side of the laptop. Right now I'm moving the card alongside here, and it just pops up and I can hear the clicks. Now the whole card, the whole bottom comes off, which is perfect. And now what I'm interested in is the cable that runs to the display on this side. And this is the socket for the cable, and then it goes alongside here through the hinge assembly and into the display. So what I'm going to do is remove this cable, and this comes off by simply lifting up to the top position the little tab, and now this comes off easily, and now I have access to this part, and this is the same. I use my fingernail, or can use a little hook or some kind of a pick, and you remove that part. So now the one side of the cable is loosened up. What I'm going to do is open up the laptop and then remove the frame of the screen. There are two screws that hold this frame here, and these are under the little plastic tab. So I'm going to use a pointy knife just to wedge under the tabs and remove. These are glued on, so it shouldn't be a problem. And just be careful, do a nice job, don't nick anything, because you want the laptop to look as new after you replace. Oh, here it is. One is removed and the screw has been exposed, and there is another one in this corner. I'm going to do the same. Just wedge the tip of the knife and open it up, and just remove the screws, and then remove very gently using the credit card. Remove the frame. The way it worked for me is I wedged the credit card in the corner here, and then move it very gently alongside, and you will hear the little tabs will very simply loosen up. But do it gently, you don't need to hurry. with this kind of job. You don't want to make any nicks alongside. You just want to make it so professional that when you put it all together, nobody can tell that this was repaired. Now you can see that part of the frame came off. There are no cables attached to the frame at all. There is a little lens over the little camera right here, and a little couple of holes for the microphones. It's a stereo. So once you come this far, you will be able to just remove the whole thing. Now you go to the bottom side of the screen, you do the same, and the hinges, the cover, plastic cover, will split in half on both sides, and then you will be able to remove that frame. You can see it moving out. So once you pop the screen, you will have access to the cable. Now once you remove the plastic frame from the front, you can see here, you can see where the cable runs, and this is the cable that goes to display, which has to be replaced. And it goes right here from underneath, alongside here, and to the back of the printed circuit board. So I have to remove this screen, and to do so I need to remove some screws, which I'll show you in a moment how to do. But this is, and you see another cable on this side, and this one goes to the camera right here, and it goes to the two little microphones because it's stereo. There's a white cable in here also, and this one is the antenna for either the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth. So you don't worry about this side, this is all fine. And this is the display cable that broke. Now this is the actual screen. It's very fragile, so you be very careful laying it down, but it's only the 4 screws that you need to remove. And this is the cable that I have to replace. It goes right along here, along the hinge, and to the inside of the laptop. Now the tricky part is to make a proper connection, and you can tell that this new cable has, you can see 3M, there's a sticky tape that you peel off just the backing of the tape. And this is intended, after you insert the cable, the sticky tape will go alongside here, just holding it securely in place. So what I'm going to do is very gently try to remove this sticky side of this cable, the old one, and simply unplug. This is a simple plug-in connector, and the sticky tape only secures it in place. Now you can see that the new one has a little larger area to stick on. It doesn't matter as long as the plug fits the same socket right here, which I can tell by looking. I can tell that this is exactly the same socket. I'm going to do it right now, and because I'm holding camera in one hand, I have to turn it off, and I'll show you in a moment how I did it. But don't cut off the tape, just peel it off, it'll come off, and now you have the cable loose, and in the same route will be going the new cable. There's just one piece of advice. When you plug in the new cable, make sure that there is no gap anywhere in the plug. It has to be perfectly flush with the socket. There is no gap between them. And you can use the sticky tape simply after peeling it off. You can simply use it so you don't have to use your finger to hold it back while you're inserting the plug. Now once this is in, you can simply put the tape right back, and you can tell, see if I can zoom it, that there is no gap, that the new plug is properly inserted. I found it is easiest once you put the plug in and put the tape on to simply put the screen right back, put the 4 screws around, and then route the cable the same way as the old one was. Okay, I have inserted the cable, the plug on the other end, and also the power switch cable, the little one here. So now everything will be put together and tested out. I think the best way to mount the frame together is lie the laptop flat this way, put this in the vertical position, and then you can line it up nicely and make sure that every tab clicks around here, and put the 2 screws and the 2 little plastic dots on the top of them. Now the screen is put back together. I'm just making quick inspection. The cable is inserted, the power switch cable is inserted. All I'm going to do is just put the back cover, put the screws in, insert the battery, insert the DVD drive, and test it out. This is the old cable, and it was flexing right here. So I'm going to cut it open. Well, this is the cable inside. I can count 16 strands, 16 wires inside. Two of them, the two on the right hand side, seem to be additionally shrouded. The shroud alone is just a very thin, very fine metal mesh, not easy to cut with a knife. So overall the cable is nice quality, but with flexing back and forth over the years, it just broke. One of the cores have broken near the hinge. This is a proof that everything works fine. You can push the screen, flex it the way you want it. And before, you could only go about 70, 80 degrees like this. If you push a little further, the screen, the backlight will go just black and will turn off. So the cable is replaced. This takes about 30, I would say 40 to 60 minutes. And if you do it, especially if you do this the first time, or you haven't opened laptop before, I would suggest just take your time, because if you rush, you can forget stuff or do some damage that you don't want to. Take your time, and I would say aim for 1 hour job. And this works great. Well, so I'll put the link for this particular laptop cable, replacement cable, down in the description under the video, and give it a thumbs up if it helped you. Thank you for watching.